Horns, you have to stop me. I'm getting too strong. I can't control my power.
Are you trying to tell me you just took 2 Jaeger bombs?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back in to the Bro Force Squad podcast. We are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and watching movies and TV. I'm your host, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you so much for checking us out. This is our review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, Episode 11, called From the Ashes. The voice you just heard is my partner in crime, the mad scientist, Brian Banner. And as always, we are here to review this TV episode on the 4 Bro Force Squad TV criteria: the acting, the story, our favorite scene, and then any theories or questions that we have going forward. So, Banner, tossing it to you. I actually think this was one of, if not the strongest acted episodes of the season. What were your thoughts? Who stood out, positive or negative?
It was definitely I still think last episode was a little bit better acted as a whole. But this episode specifically, Chloe Bennett, which we talked about last episode or maybe a couple episodes, like she's kind of taking a back seat. They have pushed her back to the front of the car, and she killed it. I thought that this was her strongest performance of the year, hands down. She's always been really consistent, never really the best, but never ever the worst. She's always just been very consistent the entire run of the show, which is what you want when the show revolves around that individual. She's going to get you 8 points, 10 boards a game.
Good defense, yeah.
Good defense, yeah. She's going to take that charge when you need her to. But this episode, I thought she really upped her game. Her and Clark Gregg, they had some scenes together, and that is why we watched this show. Yep. That's why we started watching this show, was those two, their chemistry together, and we finally got that this season, and it showed. That is the strongest relationship in the show, and that still hasn't changed, even though so many other dynamics have.
Let me ask you this, because I was wondering this as it felt like Daisy was finally getting pushed to the forefront of the story arc in this episode. If I put a gun to your head and I said, you have to tell me right now who has been the quote-unquote star, aside from Clark Gregg, on the S.H.I.E.L.D. team of this season, who would you say it is?
Of this season?
Yeah.
Only this season, I feel like it's got to be Mac.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Like, he's very subtly kind of been the main character. And again, for me, for acting cast, I echo everything you said about Chloe Bennett. She was phenomenal. But Henry Simmons was incredible again. Natalie Cordova-Buckley, who plays Yo-Yo. I just think this might be the best that she's got, right?
Yeah, and it's not that great.
It's not that great, but it's okay because Henry Simmons is carrying the load. And then I wanted to give a couple small shout-outs to people that I actually have hated most of this season, but this episode I really liked what they were giving us. The first one is Deke. Yep. Him constantly interrupting Fitz and Simmons, like acting like it was his idea, what they were coming up with. I thought it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. He's slowly, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but he is slowly becoming an acceptable character. We'll put it that way.
When he's used appropriately, he can be very effective in this show. The problem is he gets overexposed too often.
Yeah.
And another guy that we hadn't seen in a while, Barry Shabaka Henley, who plays Dr. Benson, had a pretty emotional scene in this episode. And it kind of explained why he's been such a fucking dick the whole time. And so that scene was pretty well for me.
Again, I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth at scene.
Perfect. So, you ready to move on to story?
Let's do it.
So the plot synopsis is very brief. According to IMDb, it says, out of answers and running out of time, the agents must face the ghosts of their past to move forward. And so there are 3 main bullet points that I have. The first one is we have the team interrogating Sarge, who's getting more and more of his memories back. And by his, I mean Phil Coulson's, as he dies. And that kind of forces the team to cope with their loss of Coulson, because now it's almost like he's sort of being embodied by Sarge. And then, of course, we have the Izel portion of the show where she uses Benson to try and find the quote-unquote temple where she can unleash unleash the Shrikes into the world using the gravitonium and the monoliths. And then at the end, I just wrote, "Did Deke's idea just save the day?" Question mark.
Yeah.
So what? So what did you think of the story and plot?
So since that's how you ended, I'll just pick up on that. I love that Team Fitzsimmons is now grandma, grandpa, grandson.
I know it's fucking cool.
It's really weird because we've had our issues with Deke as the character and as the actor in the past, but they're trying really, really hard to develop his character and kind of write that ship and turn his storyline to something that we are going to enjoy or are enjoying, and they're slowly chipping away at that.
Some
And
reason too, for me, it's so humorous to see him annoy Fitz.
yes, I know, and
It's like
that's what's
so
working.
fun to
Like they
watch.
finally figured out what works for him, and they're like, we got to do it, and it's perfect. I think it's perfect. I really enjoy. That's the direction they need to go, and it kind of makes sense of why they've done all the things that they've done up until this point. If this was the end game, is to make them a little trifecta team,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it, but I respect it. You have to play that long game sometimes.
Okay, so aside from them, we obviously have the team interrogating Sarge, who's becoming basically mentally Coulson, and then Izel exploiting Benson and Mac and Yo-Yo to try and get to the temple. So what of that worked or didn't work for you?
Everything with Mac and Yo-Yo is kind of missing for me this episode. The season as a whole, I'm still in, but this episode, I don't know. The whole thing with them in the containment center, kind of during Benson's super emotional scene, like they precluded that, and it kind of, I don't know. It didn't really work for me. I don't know if it's Yo-Yo's acting or maybe those big ass caterpillars on her face that she calls eyebrows. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what it is, but that is really missing for me. At least this episode, I didn't feel it the way that I have in the past, and honestly, what they're capable of.
And can I just say this? I think Mac's plan, you know how they were in the containment pod, him and Yo-Yo, and they let Izel, because I can't remember who she possessed real quick, if it was Mac or Yo-Yo. And the other one ran, Mac, it was, sorry, she possessed Yo-Yo and Mac ran out and unleashed the pod with Benson in it.
Yeah,
I think that plan is fucking stupid. They're
I didn't
giving Izel
understand
what
it.
she they're giving Izel what she wants, which is them to. She already knows where the temple is. She doesn't fucking care about Benson. And him telling the team, great, like you don't need their help to stop her. You're with her right now. You have the jump on her. You need to figure it out. I thought his plan was dumb as hell.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
didn't
understand it. I didn't understand it at all.
and can I just say, so we compliment this show's CGI a ton, and there was still
Not
some
great.
great CGI. The gravitonium ball especially was really bad, dude.
Yeah, it
It
was not good.
every time it came up, I was like, damn. Now
Yeah,
the Benson's like fear dimension vision looked pretty good, but I don't know, man. It was kind of distracting because they used the gravitonium ball a lot, like two or three times.
yeah. It. I think the thing is with that is we've seen the gravitonium ball better than it was,
Yes.
and so it's really hard to like retrospectively go, wow, that's all you did with it. It looks kind of like shit.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, again, we love the show. It was not at all like it didn't ruin the episode for me, but if we're going to compliment it, we got to point out some of the flaws.
Yeah, look, we bat from both sides of the plate here.
Yeah. So, anything you want to add with the Sarge stuff? To me, that stuff was really, really interesting, and we've kind of been waiting to see when the other shoe was going to drop with Sarge's character. And again, we talked about an acting, but I just think it brought out great performances from Ming Na Wen as May, and then of
Yep.
course Chloe Bennett as Daisy, which is the cool thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna segue us between because I'm gonna talk about story and best scene right here, because that whole storyline, like you said, it's coming to a head. We've finally seen, as you put it, the other shoe drop with Daisy and Sarge in that scene when they're talking, and he says "Sky." Dude, that
Mm,
hit me. That gave me the feelies
yeah.
because she hasn't gone by Sky since what, season 2?
No, the only time she's been referred to that is on this review, this podcast, when we accidentally call her that.
Right. I have in my notes when Sky Daisy Quake and Sarge Coulson are in the hallway and she's about to kill him and he makes the sacrifice play and she realizes that Coulson's still there.
Sky Daisy Quake is like the kid in Big Daddy, how he just wants to like make up his own name, so she just picks like all the words that she likes.
Yeah. But that scene right there, that was the best part of the entire show or the entire episode, maybe even the season, is that coming to a head. culminating in that scene and bringing this whole storyline together, just the nice bow on top. Like I said earlier in the show, that relationship between Coulson and Daisy, Sky, Quake is why we started watching the show and why we got hooked season 1, and why we still watch it today is that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll kind of echo that. There wasn't a lot of action in this episode, but it was really emotionally driven.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one favorite scene and then just a favorite line that I wanted to talk about. So my favorite scene was basically what you said, Daisy reading the letter that Coulson left for her.
Ugh.
God, I mean, you don't even know.
If that doesn't give you the feelies either, like,
then
you're
just
robot.
Dead inside. Yeah, then you're a Chronicon. You're Enoch, basically.
Yeah.
Who we'll get to actually here in just a second in theory questions. But that scene to me was just so fucking good, dude. And you could tell that Chloe Bennett, when she saw that in the script, she was like, "Oh hell yeah,
yeah,
get my money's worth here." But I had one favorite line, and it was as Coulson is starting to or his memories are starting to be manifested in Sarge, and May is interrogating him, and he slams the table and says, "I'm not the cure for your loneliness." That really fucking hit May.
Yeah.
She was like, whoa, fuck, okay.
Which is crazy because, like, that's been the through line for her character from season 1, is she's driven everybody away that has cared for her. And then finally last season, she succumbed to that and kind of, I don't even know what the right word is. What am I looking for here?
I think succumbed, right? Like she
succumbed to that feeling and was like, okay, and opened up. That's what I'm looking for. She opened up to Coulson, and they had, albeit a extremely brief relationship, they did have that relationship, and now she's longing for it. And he's like, you need to fucking quit that.
And Mac had a really interesting line kind of to that point to Izel, where she was trying to open the fear dimension to get like monsters or shrikes out, and I think it was, I can't remember if it was him or Yo-Yo that basically said, "We're not scared of any of that shit. Our biggest fears are losing the people we care about."
Right. I think it was Yo-Yo that said that, and that was her best delivered line in the entire episode.
That's just great writing too.
It is. It is great writing. I had an honorable mention, and it was Benson when he's talking to Thomas about Thomas's death and how much of you had to drink. Such good writing. Benson, and I don't know, remember the character's name, didn't execute it 100%. He executed as well as he, I think, can execute a scene like that. But that was why it wasn't it was just an honorable mention. Great scene, great writing, great visuals, how they made everything dark around him, and it was just the two of them, and you really felt it. But he just can't execute that emotion enough.
Yeah. And it was powerful enough considering we didn't know who that guy was prior to this episode or what Benson's deal was. So it's like for us to be that emotionally invested, it's even harder. But it worked.
Especially for a character that we notoriously on this show have hated.
Yes. Especially me. I've been leading the fuck Benson bandwagon.
Yeah.
And not fuck him like have
not
sex.
Not the good way.
Correct. Not the way he would prefer it. All right. Last part is theories and questions. I have one question, one theory, and then a comment that I want to lay on us. So I'll start with the question, then I'll throw it over to you.
Okay.
They kind of explained it in this episode, but I guess I missed what happened when Sarge was all of a sudden possessed. And by that, I mean, like, he started to get these powers. Was it just May killed him the first time, and that triggered him getting stronger? Or did Izel do something to him or, like, awaken something in him that started this whole process?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know, like, if Izel knows by killing him she's going to bring out his powers, and then, like, Daisy and May and all them have figured that out too. I don't understand it.
And also, are his powers and memories tied together? Like, when he dies, does he just get back his memories? Does he
also see Manny Pacquiao's?
Right. So are the powers happening regardless, and killing him brings more memories back? Because when Sky killed him on purpose, which was also an awesome scene.
Great scene.
She was just trying to get more memories out of him.
And she fucked him up.
Right. She basically like Man of Steel'd him, where she just snapped his neck. So
I don't know the answer to that. I can't answer that too.
And I don't really care because they've established like what it's doing, so that's fine. It doesn't have to be like black and white. I just didn't know because again, his conversation with Izel 2 episodes ago, we still don't know exactly what happened there.
Yeah, they may have explained it. I'm just not smart enough to have picked up on it. I'm perfectly. I bet that may be the fact even.
Yeah, I've come to terms with that.
Yeah.
All right, anything you had, and then I'll close this out.
So I have a question. What the fuck is Sarge Colson? Like, he turns to these like Mr. Vapor things, and he's super strong. But like, what the fuck is he?
I mean,
And
I'm getting.
that's what we were just talking about. Like, I don't understand.
Well, I think this might have been an offhand theory, and Trend Pimp, I'm sure, has a much more educated guess than we do. But I'm guessing he's some spirit of vengeance, like Ghost Rider, because it's looking like his flesh is being peeled off to reveal something else. So
And
I don't know.
they mentioned Robbie Reyes again. Do you think Ghost Rider's coming back? Do you think there's even a shot he's coming back?
Yes, I do. I would actually be shocked if we don't see him in the next episode.
God,
But again, is
it's gonna be so
Coulson?
fucking cool.
The only guess I had was Mephisto. I mean, he's like the go-to Ghost Rider villain, but he's
Yeah,
been played as an anti-hero. So
I
I
don't know.
don't know. Maybe he's like a different spirit of vengeance, or maybe he's fucking gonna become Johnny Blade. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. We've said it in the past, and I still think they're driving this home. I think either Mac or Yo-Yo is going to die this season. We're all hoping it's going to be Yo-Yo, but that is a theory that is still alive and well in the Brian Banner household.
One of them is 1,000% dying.
One of them has to die. Now, will they still be dead by the end of next season? Probably not, because that's what this show does, is they don't actually kill somebody. But there will be some sort of death that happens. Is the belt thing that Deke, Fitz, and Simmons that they're building, do you think it's actually going to work?
Yeah, I actually think it's a genius idea too. Just taking the auditory effect of the knife that the Izel uses to kill the Shrikes and putting that in them because that's basically what she is. I can't wait to see her fucking face when they unleash that on her.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate that it was Deke's idea, but blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of cool that it's his belt because that's what he used the gravitonium in last season. So like it's kind of going, it's staying true to his character. So it may be annoying, but like I accept it.
He's a belt guy.
He's a belt guy. I'm a backpack guy. I get it.
On that point, this is just my comment that I had. I love the idea of that Fitz had of using steroids to keep Izel from taking control of their minds. Like, just shoot up the whole team, the Shield team, and let's have them all juice it and see how many home runs they can hit.
Yeah.
Let's just get everybody on. He's like, well, we could do anabolic steroids, and that would put it. I was like, yes, that's the solution.
Let's just turn into the late '90s or the late '80s, early '90s MLB. We should be fine. It worked for Jose Canseco.
Yeah, dude, could you imagine like the roid rage of? I mean, he's dead now, but like Davis, like the fucking roid rage he would go on the ship.
Oh my god, it'd be absurd.
It'd be like ripping shit apart, or like Trip, who's been dead for 5 seasons. How, like, he would have been like, "Who the fuck ate my granola bars?" in the kitchen and just like destroying things.
And he just can't find them because they're behind his protein.
Right, and then he feels embarrassed because he destroyed the entire break room. But that's how he operates when you're on anabolic steroids.
Yeah, that's what happens. I got one last question. You got anything else?
I have a theory, but it actually ties into next season, so I think it'll be good to end with that.
Okay, well that's perfect because here's my last question ties into next season. Is Izel going to be our villain for the final season?
No, I believe it will be the Chronicons.
Okay.
And I would like to think that Enoch will be a huge part of season 7. Whether he's a double agent, like pretending to help the Chronicons and really helping the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., whether he's leading a Chronicon civil war on Earth with the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the middle of it, or whether this whole thing takes place in space for some reason, depending on the fallout of Izel. It seems like they set it up where there is a rebellion among the Chronicons. Obviously, we got that scene a few episodes ago with Enoch where he's like trying to help the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. And I just feel like that's the battle they're setting up. Again, if Izel will be fully defeated by the end of next episode, I don't know, but I think that's our season 7 villain right there.
Do we know how many episodes season 7 is going to be?
I'm sure it's been announced. Trend Pimp, help us out here. I haven't seen, but this again, if it's in the summer again, it would be abbreviated, and I there's no way they're ready to go next fall. So unless they take a year off, or like a year and a half off, I would imagine next summer.
Okay, because if it's a shorter season, then Izel has to die this season. If the
Yeah.
Chronicons are the final villain or final battle or whatever. If it is a full season, like the 20 episodes or whatever that we've gotten in the past, I feel like they can extend Izel, 5-7 episodes into next season and integrate the Chronicons into it for that amazing final battle.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how next episode ends, a la the season finale. I know it's a two-parter, so they do have plenty of time to wrap up Izel's story. And then also, I mean, the Chronicons, I'm assuming, are headed to Earth, right? Because the guy says, like, let's make that Chronica 3.
Right.
Which also, if you're already on your third fucking planet, figure it out.
You've done something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Figure your shit out. It's not our problem. I mean, I guess now it literally is our problem.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else before we let people go?
No, I think that's it. I'm just, I'm excited. I like I've said in the past, I'm excited that this season and this show is still going on. There's been some peaks and valleys, but right now I feel like we're on a peak and climbing, which is exciting.
Yeah, and with the double episode next week, I'm pretty fucking pumped. It's bittersweet because it kind of signifies the end of summer, but it's been a really exciting season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's been a fun run.
So, all right, for the mad scientist, Brian Banner, I'm the mayor, Jeff Hornacek, and we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. Please follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Just type in Bro Force Squad. That's 3 separate words. Put those same 3 words into letterbox.com to check out all of our reviews and check out everything that we do and post on our website, broforcesquad.com. And we will see you next week for the season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I forgot at the beginning of this episode that Max was all fucked up because Izel, warped into him and then bashed her head against that pipe. I was like, what the fuck happened to you?
Yeah, that's like what happens to me when I drink Jaeger.
And that's a good way to bookend the episode.